I'm Michael Makin, and welcome to Lights Camera Akron. As you can clearly see, we've had to change our format quite a bit due to the coronavirus pandemic and the University of Akron's campus being shut down right now, and we don't have access to the same resources that we had on campus with our labs at the ZTV station, and we can't edit and really film exactly how we originally were going to, but thankfully enough, we have the technology nowadays to where we can still talk to each other, and I can still talk to this professor here. I'm with Dr. Natalie Sydorenko, who is a great professor at the University of Akron in the School of Comm. And I'm just going to talk to her today a little bit about how the transition has been for her, and pretty much everything revolving around that. So yeah, former professor of mine, one of my favorites, and how has the transition impacted your classes?
Well, so at first, when this all started, of course, you know me, and you know that I'm a professor who was always like, I need to be in the classroom,
Right,
right?
right.
If I could do anything, I would be like Plato, and we'd all be outside on a grassy knoll and in the sunshine talking about philosophy and communication and all the things that move us in each other's presence. So presence is a big thing for me. So I thought I would feel a lot of trepidation, and I thought I would be very nervous and against doing this, but somehow my heart and my spirit fell right into it. Like I just wanted everyone to be safe.
Right.
Right? That's what I always want. I want everyone to be safe. And I know this virus is unprecedented and we don't really understand it. And so I thought it was absolutely the right move on the part of the University of Akron to take us online, to shut down early. I appreciate Governor DeWine closing the state, having a shelter in place. I thought that was really smart. And you can see the flattening of the curve now in Ohio because we have taken those measures. So I think that's really important. The day after we closed on a Wednesday, I believe it was March 11th.
Yeah.
The next day, March 12th, I went in to get the training. And luckily for me, I had one-on-one interaction with many of the employees in the IT department and in design and development and curriculum instruction and all of the online resources. That was a godsend because I learned how to do Panopto lectures. I set up my own WebEx room. I learned how to get students into that room. I learned how to transfer grades and all of the things I normally do the old-fashioned way into Brightspace. I uploaded, I said and I'm a public speaking teacher, so that's great, huh?
You're fine. You're fine.
Everyone says just
Yeah.
so you all know, students, don't get panicked.
Hey,
Everyone
I
says
mean, this is a one-time thing, you know. Like we're gonna say we're gonna mess up, but that's okay.
Exactly. So I was able to upload my coursework and craft a plan. So the first week I sent just an abundance of emails to my students trying to give them all of the help and help them locate all the resources that they could to be able to do this online learning. Since then, I've had students record speeches, upload them to YouTube, put them in our discussion section of Brightspace. I've held live debates on WebEx where students got to see each other and debate each other just like they would in a regular argumentation classroom.
That one sounds very interesting.
It's very interesting. We had a few snafus after that tornado blew through last week in northeastern Ohio here, and some students had lost power. Some students were on generators, and their generators were so loud that no one could hear each other on WebEx or Zoom. So we had to reschedule those, and we handled it. So some of the class periods have been synchronous, but a lot of them have been asynchronous. I've talked to students on my cell phone while we have Brightspace open so I can help them navigate the pages and learn how to upload things. I've talked to students on the phone to help them with their assignments. I've had one-on-one discussions on WebEx or Zoom with my students to help them with things, and I feel really blessed that we have these technologies. You know, I'm old school, but I'm really excited that I've learned all these technologies. I think it's fabulous. It's never going to replace presence for me because I want to see your face.
Right.
But I'm seeing your face now, Michael, like over my screen. It's not the same.
It's different. It's different, you know?
It's different. So
Yeah.
I miss that energy of the classroom and being there with my students together. But I think it's been going great. I want to commend my director, Heather Walter, at the School of Communications. She's been so supportive. Bonnie Kuiper, my colleagues, they've all been so helpful. We've been helping each other with questions and how to upload certain texts and assignments. I just think it's really been a collaborative effort, and I applaud the University of Akron for how they've made this transition smooth, and I really have enjoyed being online with my students in a way that I didn't expect, so it was surprising to me and new, and I have no complaints so far.
That's great. You know, I really couldn't agree with you more, and I was talking about this with my brother last night, actually, and it's horrible all around. It's an awful situation and it's terrible, but we do need to be incredibly thankful for the fact that it happened at a time like this where we have like all this access and all these resources and technology to where we can still move on with our lives without having to just postpone everything or just cancel a semester and just, you know, have to redo everything all over again. I mean, if this would have happened, say, 20 years ago, I mean, that was around when you started at the University of Akron. I guarantee everything just would have been shut down. Classes would have ended. You would have had to go back and do a whole nother semester. And I'm just really thankful that when I'm going through college and I'm graduating this semester and stuff, that I'm still able to stay in constant contact with all my friends, you know, through like a phone that I have, you know, a smartphone, and that, you know, my classes, I'm still able to like talk to my professors and, you know, see their faces and people's expressions and stuff like that. Whereas, you know, in the past we wouldn't have been able to do anything like that. So, you know, I think I got to be very thankful for that, and for just like, you know, everybody at the University of Akron who took this very seriously, and even all like Mike DeWine, you know, like we got to be thankful for him because he's been on it since day one, since it impacted us.
Yes,
and
super Amy Acton, I love her. She's
Amy Acton's been great too.
They make a mighty team.
They sure do.
I couldn't agree with you more, Michael. I think that it's fantastic that we are in this space and time on the planet where we have these technologies. If I was an undergrad right now at Hiram College, school would be over.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, we were just starting to learn a back system where we could kind of email or do math problems online, but that was very crude.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have had any of this. We didn't have cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
We used the Dewey Decimal System in the library to look up our research, right? We went to the physical library to look up our research. Nothing was online. So it is very different, and I do appreciate how grateful you are. My heart, however, is sad for you and all my other seniors who are missing senior activities, senior week, graduation, all of these things that you should get to have. You know, I feel that way for high school students, for my own children who are in middle school and high school. I know there's a lot of loss right now, loss of income, loss of sporting events, loss of activities, loss of milestones, prom, graduations, people not being able to attend their loved ones' funerals when they've passed away. Like, we're experiencing incredible loss. But what I feel hopeful about and what I feel heartened about is that everyone is experiencing this at the same time. So our levels of compassion and empathy and understanding are rising globally on the planet like they never have. It is unprecedented that truly we are all in this together as one. We're not all having the same experiences. And for some people, being home and being with their families might be more unsettling or potentially more dangerous, unfortunately, for some persons than when they get to be at school or at work or whatnot. But I still believe that this coming together, this experiencing all these things together is teaching us truly what we need to appreciate letting us be thankful for what we do have, letting us be grateful that technology can connect us in this way. And I just want to remain hopeful that when we come out of this, we come out of it differently.
Mm-hmm.
Not so rushed, not so worried about performance and success in the ways that we used to think about it.
Right.
But maybe we'll think about it differently. How have we connected with people? Have we given our best today? Have we taken enough time for rest? Have we exercised things that are free, right? Like right now, museums are offering free tours of museums and free tours of ancient castles, and John Legend is giving free concerts online, and Dave Matthews, who I love, right? Free concerts online. I just think that this collective rising up to be there for one another is a really beautiful thing, and we're showing the best of our humanity in this tragedy, in this crisis, in this pandemic, by coming together and offering the best of who we are to one another together.
Right. Yeah, you know, I really couldn't agree with you more there. It really is incredible to see the unity throughout, like, all the states in America, throughout, like, every country throughout the entire world. And, you know, it's nothing to be taken lightly. You know, this is a time in our lives where, you know, we have all these events and these and things and relationships that are being taken away from us that we're never going to get back. And, you know, you're right. It's especially true for people like me who are graduating seniors who, you know, everybody had these plans and these things that we wanted to accomplish and do, and it was kind of just one day taken away from us. And, you know, it takes a while to process, but, you know, we do need to be thankful that we are all very compassionate and together, and we're trying to get through this and come out a lot stronger and smarter, hopefully, too.
Yes.
After we leave. You know, I mean, I leave the grocery store and I think, oh, I don't know why all these people weren't wiping down their carts to begin with before this. Like, these are things that we should have been doing that a lot of people were, I think, just too lazy or didn't really think about doing before. But hopefully now people are thinking a lot more about healthiness and cleanliness and, you know, just situations like this that can arise out of nowhere. And I just hope
mindful,
that,
right?
yeah, just being mindful, of other people, your surroundings.
People.
Yeah.
Being grateful for our frontline workers, doctors and nurses, grocery store clerks, post office persons, right?
Yeah.
And FedEx and Amazon and UPS delivery people. I mean, all of these people that are in the front lines, allowing us to continue with our daily lives, allowing us to work online. Because we have food at home and we have necessities at home and we can get things shipped to us and we can get the care at hospitals and facilities if we need it. It's really woken us up to, I think, appreciating our neighbor more and being mindful of ourselves and other people's health and trying to be healthy, having this planet be healthy and sustainable. That's been another incredible thing, right? Seeing the satellite images of an Earth really that can breathe now. It's so ironic that this is a respiratory disease that's happening right now, this respiratory virus, and the lungs of the planet have felt suffocated for so long because of our constant frenetic energy and activity, and now we're all slowing down. The Earth is breathing, and hopefully we're going to find a vaccine and everyone will be breathing easy again, and maybe we'll re-emerge from this with new lessons, new wisdom. We won't go back to the status quo.
Right.
We'll go back to better choices, more mindful choices, healthier choices for ourselves and for the planet.
That's why I think it's not really even, you know, people say, like, when things get back to normal. It's not going to go back to the way it was. It never will.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
I hope not, yeah. I want us to be better. I don't want people to be the same that they were before. We should always be improving. We should always be striving to do better. You know, and this is something that's been a wake-up call for us, and there are good things like, you know, Earth getting so much better and so much healthier from it.
Yeah.
You know, like and it's nothing to be put, like, you know, demeaned, like it's awful, but there are some positive aspects to it, I guess.
Yes.
So going
And
back,
that's true of all life, right? With heartache and suffering also comes transformation and joy.
mm-hmm,
I mean, that happens in all aspects of life. So right now, we have this heaviness, this fear, this worry, this deep sadness for people that are suffering, people that have lost their lives. And then we also have this hope of regeneration for who we are as a species on the planet and how we can tread more lightly on the planet and with each other.
mm-hmm.
So with all hard things, lessons are learned and gifts come. So I hope we can see the whole picture there, that it's so hard and so difficult, but it's also transformative and beautiful at the same time.
Definitely. Now, going back to your classes and everything, how do you
Yes.
think your students have responded really?
I am very proud of and impressed with my students. When they have not understood how to do something or they've had trouble with the technology, they will text me, they will email me. Sometimes I'll get an email and I'll say, look, let me walk you through. It's easier for on the phone. I'll say, call my cell phone right now. They'll call, we'll talk, we'll open up all of our interfaces at the same time so we can look at things together. They've been on task. They've been handing in their assignments on time. We've had a few glitches, but no different than if we were in the regular classroom.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you want to show up for school and you're serious about school and you're serious about work, then you're going to do your best, whether you're online or you're in the classroom. And if you're not serious about it, then you won't. I think it is important for teachers to have a lot of compassion right now and understanding. I've been seeing things on Twitter that are really upsetting, like students, not necessarily from our school, but from other places around the country. They've lost a grandparent, they've lost someone to COVID-19, and the teacher won't allow them to have an extension, or the teacher seems unmoved by their emotional state. And this is a very emotional time for people who suffer with anxiety, depression, mental illness, addiction, any types of unrest or unfeeling spiritually and emotionally. It can be really hard. Some of us are just in survival mode right now, and thinking about our assignments in our classroom is second to thinking about, can I get through another day where I'm at with my fear, with my anxiety, with my sadness? So I really implore all teachers and students to give each other grace, to take a pause and see maybe how things could be different. Allow more time for things to unfold and for assignments to be uploaded if students are struggling. I think there are very fluid and easy solutions if we work together and we let go of rigidness. And you know me, I want you guys to read, I want you to do well, I want you to speak in my classroom, I want you to participate. But I also think that our humanness has to be front and center right now over our academics.
Right.
Academics are important. Humanness and staying alive right now trumps everything else.
It's like we've had a reevaluation of our own priorities almost.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
Really think about what's important to you in life, and that's why I think it's really important to spend a lot of time with family. Hopefully it's not too big of a group. Hopefully, the older ones are staying away from the younger people who could be potential carriers and stuff like that. But I just hope that everybody's just very mindful of their families and their priorities, and they really think about what matters to them the most, because heck, we got a lot of time to think on our hands. So
yes, we do.
For sure.
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
So do you think this is a more difficult of a situation in the School of Comm, more so than say like another major or another program, because we are so it's so integral to like talk in person? Yeah.
Right. So at first I thought students are going to be giving speeches without an audience, and audience analysis and reaction, and reading your audience, right? Reacting to your audience, all those things are so important. The element of live debate and having an audience and having people judge you and vote on whose arguments were the most profound or evocative or steeped in evidence. We are losing that presence, that in the classroom presence. for media students as well that need the rooms and the technology to be able to do all these things. Although look at you, look at what you're doing.
We're making
right
it
now,
happen.
right?
We're making it happen.
You're making it happen. But then I thought, you know what, we have it pretty easy. I was thinking more of like my studio art majors.
Yeah,
who need
that's
ovens,
true.
who need kilns, who need big machinery. I was thinking of robotic students who need to be in a lab with their equipment, their technology, right? Medical students. I think that it presents challenges for majors that aren't ours more strongly than it does for ours. I mean, we're communication. We have to adapt, right?
Yeah.
We have to adapt and we have to learn. So at first I was worried, and now I feel really at ease about it, and that this is just a new way to learn. This is just a new challenge. We are learning to adapt to the culture and the situation that we're in right now, and we're still communicating the best we can in this particularized context. And I think we're pretty lucky. I think we have it easier than some majors do, actually.
Yeah, that's a nice way to look at it. Very nice. Well, Dr. Syd, I'm gonna start to wrap things up here.
Okay.
But one final question. I just want to make sure, how are you and your family doing? Are you guys all doing very well? Being
We're doing
safe?
well. My husband is in an essential business, so he's still going in, but he and his brother own their building, so only their workers are in their building. They all have separate offices. They're keeping it very sanitary, and so I feel okay about that. At first I was panicked. I wanted him to stay home, but I thought he's doing all right. My kids, you know, they're teens. They're oscillating between being okay, having fun, binging Netflix, and then desperately missing school, missing their teachers in the classroom, missing their friends, activities. They both have birthdays coming up in June. They don't know if they're going to get to celebrate them. And you do too, see?
Yeah.
My cousin had to cancel his wedding in Vegas in June. Our family vacation is probably off for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. So there's some sad things, but we're doing well, and I feel really grateful. Like, those sad things are secondary to me, to how grateful I feel to have a roof over our head, money in the bank to buy groceries, a job where I still can work and connect with my students. My husband can still work. My children are learning at home. Their teachers have been very supportive. I've been interacting with them on email. And overall, I just have a lot of gratitude. So,
well, that's wonderful. I'm glad to hear you guys are all doing really well, and, you know, all the classes are going great.
They live down the street. I take them food and leave it on their deck, and then wave to them through the window and say, "Your food's here." And so that's been a big blessing.
You want to mail some down here, Cincinnati? Sounds good.
If you need to, let me know. I can cook it for you. You can come to my house and pick it up.
That sounds great. Okay, well, thank you so much for taking your time and talking to me today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
I think we discussed a lot of good stuff. You know, a lot of helpful things for college students like me. So thanks again, Dr. Syd. And
thank you. I'm proud of you, Michael. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, and I'm proud of you too for going through with all this and doing so well at it. So that's been Dr. Natalie Sydorenko with me. I'm Michael Makin, and thanks for watching Lights, Camera, Akron.
Thank you. Bye-bye.